It's called a promo,
Shut
kid.
your
And
mouth,
if you want to
John.
be the big dog, you're going to have to learn how to do it. So go ahead.
You ready? No! I said, are you ready?
That was good. I'm glad you finally decided to pull that giant stick out of your butt and have some fun for once in your life.
You're uneducated marks! You sit there on your phones tweeting out your opinions like they're worth a damn. Let me explain something to you people. You don't know shit!
And I'd like to think that maybe this company will be better after Vince McMahon's death.
Oh, is it now? Oh, is it now? The late night boys are back. The overtime boys are back.
Just clocked in. Overtime Ortiz and Josh, we back at it, wrestling in the middle.
The only people who do episodes after midnight at your service.
Thank you.
That's why I got the belt. Okay, where am I today? It's the second annual Dynasty, and you know it's special to me because I was at the first annual one. So I'm excited to dive into this year's and see how it holds up to how great that first one was, if it holds up at all.
Buckle up, Teddy.
I think you're gonna be pleasantly surprised that it probably will.
Pleasantly surprised. I did watch it. I'm just trying to sell it. I'm trying to sell.
I got you, brother.
I will say this. It was one full of surprises, and the first surprise came in the fact that the first 0 hour match, which was a 6-man tag, not promising at all, actually delivered. Nick Wayne and Crew is Leo Rush and Action Andretti, which their name is Crew, and I didn't even realize that, or I didn't remember that anyway. Mm-hmm. Nick Wayne and Crew versus AR Fox and Top Flight. It was high octane action out the gate. It was like the moment it started, it was hot. I burned myself.
That one was definitely so many high flying spots, bro. It was like if you weren't ready, blink, you're gonna miss it. It was good, great match.
Surprisingly good, exciting, and AR Fox looked great in it as well.
Right.
But with the help of his mom, Nick Wayne gets the Wayne's World and a pinfall victory.
Bro, the crowd was popping pretty hard for AR Fox, bro. I was happy to see him get his flowers. Like just hearing the whole crowd just go chanting his name.
I don't know how people feel about Nick Wayne past the whole mama's boy gimmick. I don't like that his mom is his like manager. It's kind of weird, but I will say he is super talented, and it is cool that he's in the Super Juniors tournament.
Oh yeah,
Super Juniors. I was like,
I want to say there's someone else that's in the Super Juniors also that I remember that I wanted.
Oh, it's an all-star cast. There's always some great people in there.
Great.
All right, the next 0 hour match we had was a Max Caster Open Challenge, and I have a confession to make. I'm going to make a confession right now, live in the moment. I've always stated I've hated this gimmick from the time it started. It's annoyed me, and this past week, that chant has actually been stuck in my head nonstop. Let's go, Max.
Go, Max, you're the best wrestler alive. Let's go, Max. You're the best wrestler alive.
It's catching me, man. I'll admit, like it's kind of catching me a little bit. I was like, damn, why is that kind of catchy?
It is, and oh my goodness, I enjoyed the gimmick, to be honest, and I think it's just hilarious to me because it's just like. I've seen this man literally win tag team and trios, but he gets like beat by like all the top stars now, and it's just like it's so funny. And his excuse every time just makes me laugh.
Now, we were talking about this before we logged on. I'm not the only one who predicted this, apparently, but I had predicted Anthony Bowens answers this open challenge here, and he did, and it was pretty awesome. I believe on the way down the ramp, we catch him telling Max Caster he's going to funk him up. And yes, folks, I said funk. I censored that. Thank you very much.
Look at you. I'm so proud of you.
If you just replace it with funk and think about Terry Funk, it makes it easier.
Got you.
Match had a big fight feel, but delivery-wise, it was just a complete squash. Bowen smashed Max Caster's face in and then pinned him in less than a minute.
I enjoyed his outfit gear and the new music. Yes. And I noticed that at one point it says the pride of wrestling, and I was like, "Oh, this is a pretty dope touch." I'm liking everything he's kind of putting together. It's the five tool I think it was.
I was like, you got it. It's a 5-tool wrestler right there.
There you go. Thank you. 5-tool wrestler. And I was all like, okay. I just love it. So I think it's safe to say that we're getting a singles run push, you think?
Yeah, that's what I hope
For
for.
sure.
We're all like rooting for Bowens when the claims split. I will say I don't think him and Max Caster are going to be done with just a squash match. I think they will build it to a pay-per-view match.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's just the tag team thing to do.
Drink it in, man.
But now we're going to get into the actual pay-per-view. I'm going to put this belt down so I can go ahead and switch it with the Bruv Championship belt. Got the Bruv belt.
Bro.
It's the exact same belt you just saw, but it has a Bruv sticker on it instead. Dude, I was hyped for this match because we both know if anyone else is like us and have seen Kevin Knight on the Indies and seen him at shows live, he's a really great guy. So I was excited for this. Ospreay came out to a huge pop and looking fly in his new gear.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Knight came out looking ready.
Bro, I also liked Kevin Knight's gear, and I liked when he turned around. It says the one you look up to, and I was all like, okay, that's pretty fly. Plus, he was just the whole outfit very pimpy, very icy, very like flashy too. And this match did not disappoint, bro. I'm ready to break it down.
Dude, very pimpy. I'm quoting on that. Very pimpy. All right. Bell rings, crowd cheers, sings Ospreay's name. It's a normal scene. Match itself delivers a great quality back and forth. Did the match live up to the hype you had for it going in?
Oh, it over-delivered for me.
Aggressive, yes. That was an aggressive head.
Yes.
Yeah.
I loved Kevin Knight's counters to the Styles clashes. Those were like the best counters.
All you had to do, he just folded his arms. I was like, freaking genius. Yeah, just fold your arms. You can't do it to me if I fold my arms.
Yeah, it was a good one. Ospreay gets the win with a hidden blade and advances in the Owen Hart, but they shake hands after the match. Kevin Knight's got a big future ahead of him. That was a good opener. It was a good opener.
Bro, the fact how he be hitting the frog splashes so effortlessly, and he gets so much airtime and hang time, and just like I don't know, even just doing the standing, I'm like, God, this guy has hops, bro.
Yeah.
He has hops, and he fits the package, bro. He is definitely a star, definitely a superstar that everyone should be on the lookout for.
There needs to be like someone needs to look this up. Who has the highest vertical leap in pro wrestling? There's a lot of guys who have a good vertical leap, but I think you might have the highest.
I might have to look that up, but I was about to say, I was like, there's some good people. I would say also AR Fox is pretty good at hang time event. But anyways, go.
It's worth a Google. It would be worth a
Google. I don't have the laptop. I need to make sure I get the laptop next time.
Another confession I have to make. This is another confession I have to make.
These are his confessions.
So I've been so exhausted with the process of moving. Just today alone, I was moving from 7 a.m. till 4 p.m. up till the time I had watched the pay-per-view. I actually fell asleep during Kevin Knight's entrance and slept through the match first time around. I had woke up and Julia Hart was making her entrance, and I had to rewind the whole pay-per-view. So I was the whole entire time I was watching the pay-per-view, I was like 38 minutes behind people, and I would skip the build-up videos of the matches to just kill a little time. Thank goodness I did, though, because, yeah, one, that opening match was worth it, and two, I had no idea the tag title match happened in between those two. So I was like, I would have missed the tag title match altogether, which is what's next up.
Oh, yeah, we hurt people. We hurt people.
The crowd didn't even wait for the entrance to hit, the music to get to. They said, we want to do it now.
Now. Right now. Want to hurt people right now, they were saying. And they
Brian
checked it.
Keith, Big Bill come out looking ready to fight, but the Hurt Syndicate come out looking ready to hurt people. And Brian Keith starts the match against Lashley, but he doesn't actually start the match. He stalls and then tags in Big Bill. And we get Big Bill versus Lashley first. And Big Bill looked really great in the first part. I mean, I say in the first part, this continues on throughout the match. Like, both Big Bill and Brian Keith look really good in this match, and I was surprised to see that. I was surprised to see how much push they actually got within this match.
Big Bill was manhandling both of them, and I was like, yo, this is a different Big Bill that we have never seen. This is like a laser focus, and he took out two of the biggest, baddest dudes in AEW for sure, and especially tag team champions by himself, may I add, to add on to your first part. He was literally clearing them both out, where even MVP had to, step away from the commentaries and like have a pep talk with his guys and shit.
What do we want to talk about?
And then also, ringside, we see MJF, who gets involved to help the Hurt Syndicate without them asking him to.
Freaking A. That when he showed up, I was like, oh, of course, this dude. I think he's trying to butter up to the Hurt Syndicate some way, kind of show him that, I'm important. I could help.
Gotta love them. Let's see, Hurt Syndicate run through Brian Keith and get the win. They just ran right through Brian Keith, poor guy.
Right, but and I will say, I'm happy that Brian Keith went from 0 hour to now on the main pay-per-view on the card. So he's moved his way up.
Good observation. That's actually an astute observation. I didn't even notice that.
Mm-hmm.
It should be interesting to see where that story goes, incorporating MJF into it.
Thank you.
See, now the actual match: Julia Hart, Mercedes Moné. Both women looked great, and it was a back and forth match between them. They traded back and forth exchanges the entirety of the match. I'm trying to open this.
Their entrances on top of that, especially Julia Hart's, literally fire in both ways. And Mercedes Pyro was well deserved for a champion of her caliber. And fun fact, her outfit was a Beyonce reference to her outfit from tour.
Okay, I wondered. I was like, what kind of Disney princess shit is this?
No. It's a Beyonce reference.
Queen Bee. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Queen Bee.
CEO and Queen Bee.
Now, on the match, like I said, it was back and forth the entire time. It kind of keeps that energy throughout. And it stays pretty slow in the process. It was a slow-paced match, which I wasn't even surprised to say. I just wasn't ready for that slow of a match at that time. I was like, whoa, this is moving pretty slow. And while slower, the pace does pick back up later in the match. And at no point is the match bad. Like, I always feel like when I tell people, oh, that was a slower paced match, they think I'm trying to insinuate it's a bad match. I'm like, no, they're just moving slower. That's all it is just the speed.
Exactly. That doesn't make it a bad match at all. Sometimes you got to slow the tempo.
Yeah.
And you got to take your time.
Not everybody can do Will Ospreay flippy dippies.
Exactly. And go 100 miles an hour. Not every time, man.
During this match, we get a Tajiri callback when Julia Hart hits a modified tarantula submission, and I'm a huge Tajiri fan, so of course I was going to make note of that.
You mean it's called a Tarantula Jones? It's a Tarantula Jones now.
Like that.
Bro, the fact that Taz said that, and I looked it up on X, and people were posting about that, like talking about that spot, calling it Tarantula Jones, and it's like, I swear to God, everything she does, it has Jones in the end of it.
Julia Hart wrestles one hell of a great match with Mercedes and gets the crowd behind her. After a huge fight and a struggle in the statement submission, Julia gets rolled back into a seatbelt type pinfall and loses, but she didn't tap out. She didn't pass out. She didn't tap out. That crowd was going bananas.
They were popping huge for Julia, and to Mercedes, it was just the fact that she just out wrestled her. Once she did that seatbelt and literally grabbed that leg by two, held it down so she could not kick and get no momentum off that leg to do a kick out. She just got, it was out wrestled. But it was clean, it was good, and no complaints. That match was a great, great women's wrestling match.
There's two notes I don't have written down at all. These weren't in the notes going in, but I want to bring these things up because they're important and conducive. One, we can't forget or look over the fact that Athena has been posted up all over these events and has been building with Mercedes Moné to a program. And I don't know how that program ends, whether it be Mercedes beating Athena at All In or Athena beating Mercedes at All In. But I'm hoping I'm right in that it's going to All In and we're not just quick
Bro,
thinking.
you know it. Me and you both know it's going in all in. It makes sense. Athena's from the local area, bro. It has to be.
But I hate to believe it. I hate to believe that it's actually Mercedes going to beat Athena and be the one to beat her reign and collect another belt in the process.
I think it's going to be the other way around.
Please.
That's my opinion. I love both. I truly do like both. Actually, I love both characters, and I love both wrestlers.
For sure.
So I'm okay with either one. But if, gun to my head, you're like, hey, pick one. Who you think's got it? To me, it's going to be Athena.
Yeah, same here. I agree. And while I believe one way, I'm rooting for another way. And that's the other thing I wanted to note, though, and I'll do it quickly so we're not like hung up on time. Do we ever think Julia Hart is going to be a women's world champion? I do.
Yes.
Especially with the crowd being behind her like that.
Absolutely. With no doubt. She was already TBS champion and one of my low key favorite TBS champions of all time throughout the people that held that belt. It was just something special about her. That was her coming out party to me when she became TBS champion. And now that she doesn't even have it, but we're going for women's world championship. Yeah, bro, for sure. It's just when is that going to happen? It's just a matter of when.
I thought about it. I would say she's my favorite TBS champion. I thought about it. I went through them all.
Now that I'm thinking about it, yeah.
There's an easier one because it's not a long list when you think about everybody who's held the title. And the only thing that would have changed it is if they would have made the decision years ago to have Athena beat Jade Cargill when she should have beat Jade Cargill for that title. But that's a whole other thing from years ago.
That's a whole can of worms you open it up.
Speaking of worms, let's talk about the trios titles.
Please. He said open worms.
The questions going into this that we're soon about to answer. Is Dax turning on Cash? Is FTR turning on Cope? Are they turning on each other at all, or is it all a front? Let's discuss and find out what happens here. My prediction going in was that FTR doesn't split up. They're going to kick Edge to the curb.
Mine's was, I think, Dax betraying Cash and Cope. That was mine's.
Man, I did say on Twitter, I don't think FTR breaks up, but if they do, I'm a Dax guy. I've always been a Dax guy. This match here fell into the common theme category for me of this card having slower paced matches, which I have to keep reiterating doesn't mean they're bad matches. Just acknowledging it's a lot of slower paced wrestling early on the card. And if I'm booking, like thinking about fantasy booking, if I'm booking, I do it the opposite way around. I want the faster paced matches to go in first to get people hyped up. But I digress. Both teams look great in it. Early on, everybody working together well. Then midway in, we see Dax intercept and steal a tag away from Cope. And that was the first little seed.
That was definitely a red flag.
I think from that point forward, though, the energy in the match got raised up significantly. It didn't seem so slow after that had happened because a lot of stuff starts happening. It's like a lot of, and no pun intended, we see a lot of edge of your seat moments is what I call them. Those are close calls, false finishes. But what ends it all is a miscue between Dax and Cope. And Wheeler Yuta, I want to know how Q felt about this. Wheeler Yuta, of all people, hits the Psycho knee and gets the pinfall victory to help the Death Riders retain.
To be honest, Q wasn't here. He's missing in action at the moment. I think he's on a vacation.
Bro went to Dreamville. He went to the Dreamville 5th anniversary.
That's what I'm saying. The man's on vacation. But I guarantee you, if he was here, I know for a shadow of a doubt, he would have crashed out. He would have lashed out. And he would have done one of those serious face and walked out of the house for a second, then come back and probably cuss him out and cuss the TV out. Knowing him, that's my boy. I know him, and I know how he hates Wheeler Yuta. He would have had the same energy, just like those Philly fans. Even though Wheeler Yuta is from Philly, That's what's crazy even more. The fact that
I know.
the Philly fans were going in on him, bro.
Dude,
Going
I
in
forgot.
on him.
I forgot he was home. Like,
Yeah,
damn.
he is hometown hero boy. And there was a sign that I don't know if you got it caught. It said, Philly fans don't claim Yuta, and it had a picture of
Damn.
him, and they said we don't claim him.
I
And
missed that one.
yeah, and then you've heard the chants, bro. And I even told everyone in the crib, I was all like, if the Death Riders win, I said Yuta has to get the pin. Has to get the pin. It only makes sense being hometown. And I was like, as much as everyone hates him, imagine how that would make the fans even more hate him. The fact that he gets the pin.
But this bitch is getting on my
Dude,
nerves.
That was
Called
my
it.
profession.
Called it. After the match, we see Cope and Cash help Dax up and then raise each other's arms up. Then Dax pile drives Edge and sets him up for the concerto. He offers Cash the kill shot, but Cash declines it aggressively. Then, in a secondary swerve, Cash turns on Cope. FTR hits him with a shatter machine, top rope assisted pile driver, a couple of concertos, and then they mock Copeland as they leave.
Bro.
That's the
Cash.
FTR I know. That's the FTR I know.
But he put the neck brace on and got on the stretcher and played dead, resuscitated back to life. And he said he needs this more than I do, how I do. Then they flipped the damn thing.
Yeah.
Bro, you should have
I'm in.
seen everyone in my household, bro. We were shocked. I was like, oh my God. And we were like, did not see that coming. And how it was executed, didn't see that, the execution, how they executed it. Perfect heel turn.
And I wonder, I'm like, all right, Edge is going to go against FTR. You know, who's the random partner he's got to pick to do it? I really wish we could just cut the bullshit and just do Edge and Christian one time.
Bro.
Just Edge and Christian one time.
I'm telling you, hold on to your seats. I'm going to talk to TK. Got some booking in, and I think that's where we're heading. That's what I'm planning. I'm telling TK in the meetings, I'm like, yo, what better time now than putting them together at this point? Give him some time off. He's going to come. He's going to take some time off probably. When he comes back, you're going to have Cope and Christian Cage together going against at some point FTR, which stands for F the rest.
Apparently, that's what it stands for now. It's just creatively, I don't know how you get there, but I won't. If we do get there somehow, I won't ask any questions. I'll just be like, I'll check out my new hat, and I'll just change the whole discussion, change the topic. So then, like I said, this was my prediction going in. I knew FTR wouldn't split from each other, but would definitely kick Edge to the curb. Now, past that, we're going to move on. I got to get my guest over here. We're going to move on to the women's world title, and I got my Tony Storm brawler buddy on the tap right here. So far in, I'm spot on all my predictions, right? Mm-hmm. This one was the first one that I was like, all right, I predicted one way. It's more questionable, and I'm not hoping my prediction's right. I was thinking ahead of time that even though Timeless Tony Storm is everything, she might be dropping the title to Megan Bayne here. It's hard to think of Megan Bayne as a losing competitor.
I was going for Megan Bayne. I'm a Timeless Tony fan, but I am kind of a Megan Bayne fan, only just because I've seen her from Stardom. Everyone knows that's seen Wrestling in the Middle when we talk about it. So, and Megan Bayne looked phenomenal. Phenomenal. Looked like a true monster in there. And Timeless Tony Storm, boy, from the beginning of from the package, from the announcement of saying our feature presentation, I was like, oh, cinema. I love this. I love it. I love it.
Came out to the Rocky Balboa inspired entrance. I didn't change my prediction, but I was assured, all right, this is who I'm rooting for. That's who I'm cheering for.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Megan Bayne from early on, just dominant. I mean, that's what I expected. Luther gets taken out by a big suicide dive. That was a huge thing. Megan Bayne's suicide dive is scary to watch. It's a lot of muscle moving. We see Penelope get involved a few times. we see Tony try and get in the match, but continuously get overpowered. Luther carries Penelope Ford out in a fireman carry and gives Tony Storm a chance to fight back. What I found interesting about this match, the further it went on, was that I never seen Megan Bayne go into deep waters like this. You know, like we hadn't really seen her since coming here have a match this deep and this hard and heavy, and she more than held her own. It was there's some people like, you know, you question, we look at Brock Lesnar matches, I hate to bring him up, but like I compare her to Brock Lesnar and it just makes sense for who she is. We see Brock Lesnar matches go past 10, 15 minutes. They're not that good anymore. He's already done like the same 5 moves. That's why I don't want to compare her to him anymore, because like that's not her.
No, not at all, bro. She is definitely a goddess and a beast.
A goddess and a beast.
I'm telling you, like I've seen her matches, and this was like the best representation. Like if anyone ever asked, why should I care about this person and this character, like who is Megan Bayne, I would probably put on this match to sell them on why you should.
Yeah, that's fair. This part, Tony hits a hip attack, Megan stands up, Tony hits her with 3 hip attacks in the Storm Zero, and Megan kicks out at one. At the 1.
Boy, I was so hyped. I think I was the only one really hyped in my house. I was screaming like, let's effing go. I was like, bow down. I was going crazy.
Give me a hell yeah.
I did not see that one coming. I thought that might be the end. Megan Bayne gets more dominating offense, and she's poised to win it. She sets up for the Fate's Descent, and Tony counters it into a roll-up small package, pins Megan Bayne for 3.
Out-wrestled, man. She got out-wrestled.
I was so happy for her. It's not what I predicted, but I'm okay with being wrong sometimes.
Hey, I was wrong about it too, and I couldn't say nothing because she got out-wrestled, lost the small package, retained the title, and beat her. And Megan Bayne still did not look weak. She still looked incredible and a beast.
There we go.
And that's how you do it. Yep. Put the title on her. Champ. Put the title on her.
That's champ right there. I loved that match, and that, as good as that match was, the one I didn't expect to be good was the next one, Kyle Fletcher versus Mark Briscoe. I had the bar set like at a regular, medium, normal level, and these guys have history off and on over this past year, starting from the Continental Classic tournament all the way up into here, the Owen Hart Cup. Fletcher can't wait, jumps over the rope, attacks Briscoe before the match. Then they proceed to fight and have a good match. And it was more of a fast-paced and exciting match than I initially anticipated, because, again, a lot of the other matches were slower paced. So, surprisingly enough, here comes Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe, and they're like, let's go. High octane. And then, even when this match did slow down to a slower pace, it contained intense, hard-hitting spots, and that holds viewer attention. It's an underrated quality in a great match. It's a quality that really makes a match great, and people don't pick up on it enough.
It's Kyle Fletcher, bro. This man is one of the future stars that's gonna take this company to the next level, and he's being built like one. And I'm never, ever, ever usually disappointed in a Kyle Fletcher match, and especially with a dance partner of Chicken, bro. Boy, they have chemistry, and I'm loving every bit of it.
I'll admit, because I'm a huge Aussie Open fan, I put them in my top 5 favorite tag teams. I love Aussie Open, but I never saw them as like decent single competitors. Otherwise, I didn't see Kyle Fletcher being, who he is today. I don't think many people did at all. Yeah. But I will say, when I drove to Houston and I saw him and Kenny Omega 1-on-1, I knew. That's when I knew, okay, he can work as a single star. I just had no idea he was about to shave his head and become the next big thing.
It's crazy but I would feel the same way about even other stars like Anthony Bowens and stuff like that. Like you could compare certain stars that are in the tag team division, just stand out. Like even though they're not in the company anymore, Ray Phoenix, Penta. Like I've noticed with certain tag team wrestlers, when usually a partner is out, here's another one, Top Flight, Dante, not Darius, Dante Martin. You know, sometimes they just stand out when they get time to shine, and you're like, holy crap. And Kyle, he was destined to definitely shine, bro.
Destined. Okay, back into our match. Briscoe eats a brainbuster on the edge of the ring and another in the center of the ring. And Fletcher goes for the pin, but Briscoe kicks out. And we were all a little shocked at that one. At least I was. Speaking for myself, I was shocked. Mark Briscoe starts emptying the tank and can't keep Kyle down. He calls for the J Driller. Kyle reverses, and then we go into a sequence of reversals that ends with a sick driver by Mark and both men down. I love shit like that. Reversal. Now everyone's down. We're all clapping.
Especially the double clothesline spot.
Kyle goes ham mode after reversing another Froggy Bow attempt. Hits Mark Briscoe with a brain buster on the turnbuckle pad. Pins him for 3. And one thing I love about their dynamic in the ring is how Mark Briscoe brings out the best competitor in Kyle Fletcher. I can see why their paths keep crossing. It's beautiful, really. Like, Mark Briscoe brings the best out in that kid.
What I told you, they have chemistry. He's a great dance partner.
Yeah. So beautiful. Now, ready for this one. Maybe I was the only one looking forward to it. I'm a big Bandito fan, so I was just kind of looking forward to this more than most were. And I was praying Bandito would come out with another ROH title reign added onto his resume and not be forced to unmask. But we shall see. We'll see. Out the gate, Jericho hits Codebreaker and gets a near fall victory that scares us all. I was scared shitless. I really thought they were going to do that to Bandito.
I know.
That would have been my biggest complaint that they ever made. Match has a good flow to it, though, from then on. And Bandito kisses his mom on the head. We get a sentimental moment.
I felt that. All
right. Trivia question. How many seconds did Bandito hold Jericho upside down in a vertical suplex position for?
Do you want me to guess it, or are you multiple choice, or is it really?
It's not like
I say it was a minute.
Because I don't actually know. I think it was 50 seconds, but I don't know. I believe
it's a minute, bro. It was a minute.
Full minute.
I literally have a video of it on IG right now. Posted about it.
It goes a full 60 seconds. Hey, 50, 60, whatever. It was awesome.
Bro, not that many people could do it, especially with one hand. Around the 40 or 50 mark is when he put both hands on it. But the most important thing is Jericho held that, and I knew that blood was rushing in his head to hold it that long. And Bandito, being a strong luchador, bro. Whew, he never seems to. If you ever watch a Bandito match, just know, don't judge a book by its cover. This man's cooking.
Yeah,
he's out here.
I know you don't mean if I specifically ever watch one, but I'm agreeing because I've watched many.
He cooks, bro. He cooks. Stocks are up, bro. Stocks are up. Get them now.
Fans chant, "Please retire" at Jericho, and I only note that because if you recall, it was last year at Dynasty that this chant had got started, and I remember how uncomfortable I felt in the crowd when it did. I remember sitting there in the crowd at Dynasty last year, and I was like, I don't want to say that. I don't want.
No, I don't agree with it. I just think it's just a little, it's the go away heat.
Yeah,
but
this match, great balance of entertaining and technically sound. A lot of notes that come out of Chris Jericho matches are a balance of those two things. I feel like Brian Keith limps out to the ring to cause distraction, but gravity returns to stop him. This distracts the ref, and Jericho hits Bandito with the bat. Jericho crawls slowly to the pin and pins Bandito for 3. And my heart broke. My heart shattered when that happened.
I think the whole stadium, the air, was sucked out in that moment because we're like, no one wants to see this. No one wants to see a man get unmasked.
Yeah, no, we don't want, especially not Bandito. Bandito's mom and sister get Aubrey out to tell her Jericho cheated and this causes the match to get restarted. I've never seen anything like that before. Never in wrestling have I seen that.
They even showed him where the bat was, where the murder weapon was at, pulls it out.
No. So Bandito hits the 21 plex and wins the ROH title. And I'm just going to say this. I'm happy for the result. I'm happy Bandito's champion, keeping his mask. I'm thrilled. But I absolutely hated that finish. That's just that's too against the grain and too anti-pro wrestling for me. Like, yay for my boy Bandito and for the ROH men's division getting like a better title picture again. But dog, I don't like that finish. That's not it. Can't just be like, hey, he cheated. Let's start over. That's not what you do.
You got to give the people what they want. They wanted a happy ending, and by golly,
Yeah,
I got that damn happy ending.
I'll take the positives out of it because I didn't want to see him get unmasked. And if Bandito unmasked, where would he go from there? Just as a regular Dito?
He's just a Dito.
It's me and Dito.
I love seeing a Hispanic family support each other. It hits me right in my corazón, and I felt that.
Drink it in, man.
I love seeing TNT title matches, and that's just me segueing to the next match because I was hyped for this match and the high possibility we finally see Adam Cole win a singles title again.
Adam Cole, baby.
Exactly. And the match is just as good as I'd hoped from the beginning in, which both guys, like, they're both two wrestlers that when I see on card, I'm like, yep, that's where a good match is going to be. So put them together. It's an easy expectation. And we see both guys not only be technically sound like we'd expect, but also both guys be tenacious and aggressive. And that's a common subtlety of many great matches.
Yeah, DG was a little bit unhinged a little bit in this match, showing a little bit more grip. That almost kind of reminds me of when he first started. When DG first started, he was very heelish, like especially with the tactics he would do and work on the body part, dissect it one by one. He was kind of tapping in back to his old roots, kind of showing Adam Cole, like, I can be the guy, I am ready.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. We see Adam Cole start to kind of close in on winning it maybe, but neither man can stand due to being so winded. And whenever Daniel Garcia did the whole fall forward during the boom thing, I could only see MJF doing it beforehand and was like, how many times are we going to do that one? Or how many people get to do that?
So out of exhaustion.
Yeah.
They do it out of exhaustion. They're like, ugh.
Then we see Danny Boy hit Adam Cole with his own finishing moves, a Panama Sunrise and the boom knee. Daniel Garcia tries to harm Adam Cole by pile driving him off the top rope, but he gets stopped, and Cole hits 2 Panama Sunrises afterwards, followed by a boom. 1, 2, 3. Adam Cole's our TNT champion. I was happy.
He was it was the callback back to the MJF, how he put MJF out of commission. He was going to go in those deep waters in those bags. I think he was in desperation mode to put him away.
Mm-hmm. After the match, we see a very light handshake from a very disappointed Daniel Garcia. I don't know how much to read into that, if that stems into something else, even like a whole heel turn. I don't want to see Garcia have a heel turn, but he looked very sad.
You never know. Might be. Go back to kind of make a full circle.
Drink it in, man.
Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited were you for the triple threat?
20.
Yeah, that's fair. I would say going in, other than the TNT title match and the ROH title match, this was the match I was looking forward to the most. I would say number one match looking forward to this triple threat. And I mean, how can this triple threat not excite any wrestling fan? Speedball, who I've seen wrestle live in like 4 different promotions before he even got here. Ricochet, who's doing the best character work of his career to match his insane athleticism already. And then let's just casually add on the god of pro wrestling. It's like
Kenny Omega.
Yeah, who does his goat entrance here, as I call it. The goat entrance. And
damn right.
Man, I melt every time I see those flames because they're so hot.
I pop every time it goes Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
I love it.
It hits. Omega and Speedball start the match while Ricochet chills outside. I wouldn't have minded this match being one-on-one between Speedball and Omega to begin with, but both men look great. Speedball gets to going on a run until Ricochet finally gets into it. Even as he does, it doesn't slow Speedball down any. What does slow Speedball and this match down a little bit is Ricochet giving a Valley Driver to Bayley while standing on the edge of the barricade, and he does so into Kenny Omega on the edge of the barricade as well. It was a really cool spot.
There's so many cool spots, and in that one, when I saw that, I was like, what are we doing here? What are we?
Yeah.
I was just going crazy right there.
Give me a hell yeah.
See, this triple threat does what so many triple threats do so well, and it keeps a consistent level of interest and entertainment throughout it. It's why I always say that triple threats have a formula that is rare to see fail. It's almost all triple threats are bangers, and then you get three guys like this in there, and it's like show-stealing magic. It's impalpable, dude. And a lot of exciting spots of the high-flying nature, a lot of great strikes, technical offense. But no complaints. Absolutely no complaints on this.
Did you ever make a note about the double stack pins?
No. I make more notes, but that's not in there.
That deserved it because I've never seen that happen before, ever. In wrestling, as in, hey, let me try pin both of them this way. And then the next person tries to do a double pin on his two opponents. Then the third opponent tries to stack them both in different, but they all did it in different ways. All three of them had different ways of trying to steal the win. I think Kenny's was the what's it called? It's the one where you put them on your shoulder and then you drop them down. It's like a
rolling senton.
I feel like. Anyways, go on. My bad. I like that spot. I just thought it deserved to have a note in it.
Yeah, I didn't make specific note of it. I just have generalized notes of how great this goes, and then some specific, like Mike Bailey beats down on Ricochet and tries to take him out, but he only takes out his own knee in the process. Ricochet helps aid the follow-through of taking that knee out. And we get Kenny versus Ricochet one-on-one for like 3 minutes, and then Speedball's rallying back into the match. I love that guy. I love that guy. He's like, I'm not down yet.
And he's like, I didn't hear no bell.
Another specific I mentioned, I was like, let's quickly mention the double Snapdragon suplex because I popped for that spot.
Yes.
That's something you don't see. I don't think I've seen before.
That's what I'm saying. They were doing a lot of things I've never seen it before in a match.
Yeah.
Hell, even Tony Schiavone said it on comms.
Match keeps on. All three guys just keep bringing 5-star action. Mike Bailey pulls the most beautiful crane kick I've ever seen. He really shined in this match.
Freaking love the Karate Kid reference right there. Ricochet was like, it ain't gonna work. Boom, happened. And he did it flawlessly.
Yeah.
So flawlessly.
Probably the best I've ever seen. And yeah, sorry. I get so caught up on this match. All three guys were bringing it. And after 30 plus minutes of this great match, it ends with Omega hitting Ricochet with a one-winged angel from the middle rope. And Bailey gets caught in the tree of woe and is stuck watching Kenny retain right in front of him. Can't do shit about it. Amazing match.
So beautiful. And they had a PWG callback reference.
Yes.
When Ricochet was on the comms. And then I remember Kenny Omega in the PWG, he throws a chair at him. But this time, it's Speedball Mike Bailey with a beautiful timed kick out of nowhere. And so right now it's going on the internet as a funny meme with the "We'll be right back."
It's funny too because they started making the PWG references, and notes like as soon as the match started, Excalibur noted Kenny's loss to Ricochet, win over Bailey, and that's all stuff that I missed during my time. I didn't watch PWG, and I've been starting to watch it now on physical tape. I've been watching DVDs. I remember texting the group chat and telling you guys like I had no idea that this was AEW before AEW came around. Like PWG had a lot of good shit. From like 14 to 17 or 18.
I wish I was watching wrestling at that time, bro. I really do. And I was watching WWE. I would have loved to seen it live right there. That was the beginnings of like the Young Bucks and Adam Cole and Kenny doing their things, getting like, really carving their names and making PWG something really special.
Well, and see, I was watching a lot of like Adam Cole and the Bucks and Kevin Steen, and I was watching everybody on ROH, just not on PWG. I didn't see anybody, and I was predominantly watching WWE in 2017 because AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, like it was popping at the time. But we're not going to bring WWE up on the Dynasty episode. I don't know how I went there.
My bad.
No, it's fine. It's our job. This was an amazing match. Like I said, probably my favorite match off the card, looking back at it. But after the fact, Kenny stops for a drink of water, and I knew something had to happen if he's stopping for a drink of water. As he's catching his breath, we see this guy. Got my Okada shirt on. We see this guy come out and stare down at him for a little bit. Again, we're planting all these seeds for All In.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just hoping we're not trying to book it prematurely. That's always my biggest fear. Is that we're not going to long term book it.
We're building it for All In. It's an All In match, definitely, hands down. Definitely. I'm willing to put money on it, hands down.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, the last episode recording we did too, I wore a different Okada shirt. I'm not trying to make a theme out of wearing Okada shirts, but keep wearing Okada shirts on the show. This is my favorite one out of them all.
Yeah.
I always did like that one, the one with the pink.
Yeah, it's a big flex. Now, no bigger flex than getting to a main event, a world title match.
Big flex.
That guy. Yeah, I was just about to say, he came out, Swerve comes out with a Static Shock entrance, and I popped at that. Underrated DC hero, and while the cartoon wasn't all that great, that was really cool.
Superhero Static Shock. Whoop, whoop. I can't believe, first of all, the fact that you said, as your opinion, that it wasn't great.
Yeah, I'm telling you. So I watched it as a kid, right? Loved it. Go back and watch it again now. It wasn't that good. I'm like, wow, this is so cheesy. It's a lot cheesier than you'll remember.
I'm gonna have to watch it.
Now, I didn't predict going in he would win the title, but I did say if any man right now was going to beat Moxley, it could be Swerve, especially at Dynasty, where he's main eventing a second year in a row.
Buckle up, Teddy.
Like I didn't say Moxley was going to lose the titles, but I did say if he was, hypothetically, this would make sense.
Looks like we've had enough talk.
All right, big fight feel. As Moxley comes out and we get into the championship introduction with no championship, and I'm not complaining. I don't need to see the belt.
No.
Yep, we don't need to.
We start the match off much more technical and fundamental than I had expected. I was anticipating fist fight, but instead I got mat wrestling. I was not ready.
No.
I was like, whoa, they're rolling around.
Drink it in, man.
Now, this favors Swerve more. He controls a good portion of the early match, but Moxley is no slouch or pushover either. And then match gets a little grittier and nastier. This, of course, goes to favor Moxley more, but likewise, Swerve is no pushover or slouch. It's like one man will push the advantage, but neither one is really down bad. And Swerve gets busted open. Moxley gets the steel steps moved out to the middle of the floor where the fight's taking place. That's where action starts to pick up. Take it back in the ring. After violence outside of it, we see Moxley just dissect Swerve and grind him down in that gnarly John Moxley way, which, yes, includes biting his face and drinking his blood. If I could best describe how this match felt deeper it went, I would describe it as a really cool, dirty bad guy versus bad guy boss fight. This is what it felt like.
And he was like literally, I don't know how many times he tried to bite that wound multiple times out of that match. I lost count. How many times Moxley was biting that head right here, like right by his eyebrow, forehead area. I was like, golly, Mox, chill the hell out, bro. This man is hungry. Someone needs to feed this man. This man is obviously hungry.
Has anybody ever thought that he might be a vampire?
What?
Shoot, I never once thought of it, but I thought it was going to be Mox bleeding first. I didn't think it was going to be Swerve bleeding first.
Ha, got you.
Yep.
Swerve hits the house call, doesn't cover, big mistake. Marina gets in the ring, gets involved, and Nana comes in to stop her. He gets hit with a briefcase, another mistake. Mox goes to hit Swerve with a Mox cutter, and Swerve pulls Marina into the way, and she catches the cutter instead, which then leads Swerve to hit a paradigm shift on Moxley. It was a crazy sequence.
Yeah.
That whole instance, I remember I was taking all these notes because then Moxley goes under the ring, gets a ladder, and I was confused by that. I was like, why a ladder? Sets it up by the announce desk. And my initial thought when that ladder got pulled out and put by that desk, I said, okay, when does Darby come out then? When's Darby coming? If you're setting the ladder up for him.
Darby's up in Mount Everest, about to start that climb right now, actually this month.
That's what I thought, but I see a ladder and steps and danger. That's Darby's.
That is Darby's signature. It's his calling card.
If a Darby's going to come out, he's going to literally parachute off of Mount Everest into the arena, onto the ladder, push Moxley off.
That would be pretty sick.
And then he'll find a way to go through glass in the process. I just know it.
Ruthless.
Now, see both men get up on the ladder. Swerve fights Moxley, trying to suplex him back through the desk. He claws, he bites, and then he stomps Moxley through the announce desk. And I kind of wonder if we just were going to stop the match there. Like, all right, that's it. Call it. Both men are down. But both guys managed somehow to roll back inside the ring. I don't understand it. They get back in and keep fighting.
They were going through the rubble, and I was just like, everyone was freaking out because we didn't know what they were going to do. And I was like, I think he's going to swerve stomp him through the Spanish announce desk, guys. They were like, no, he isn't. And then when it happened, I was like, holy shit. You just going crazy. But the fact that they magically somehow continued the match is crazy to me after that spot.
I know. I was mortified. But at the same time, both guys are like, they don't die.
They're not a pushover, like you said.
Moxley tries to pelt Swerve in the face with a chair, and Swerve ducks. Chair hits the ref instead. We see Hangman Adam Page come down to the ring and have a complex of who to hit. This gets him jumped by the Death Rider boys, but Hangman fights back, gets a dead eye off on Moxley. Then we see hell break loose as the Ops, of all people, come out to fight the Death Riders off and back into the back.
I love the Ops.
I'll take a quick break before getting to the finish of this match to say, you and I, talking before the show, both had predicted this, that Hangman was going to interfere in the match, but to help Swerve.
Yeah, absolutely. Had to help Swerve.
It's weird. It feels weird. But at the same time, like, it was predictable. It just feels weird because those men literally were going to kill each other.
One man admitted that he was wrong, and that's probably all he wanted. It's funny because we made jokes like, just be like, you burned my house down. I know. And it was just like, I just like basically saying I deserve it, and I'm playing as Hangman, and I'm like, that's all I wanted to hear was that you were sorry and an apology. Now I don't want to hurt you now. That's all I wanted to hear was you saying sorry. That was it.
There's parts of me too, but even before the match, like, okay, Swerve wins it, Hangman helps him win it. Like, Swerve and Hangman main eventing All in Texas does make sense. You know, that puts Moxley to go have a match with somebody else, a pretty violent one. Like, it really makes sense. I wasn't calling it that way, but it would be kind of cool.
That's cool.
Swerve, back in the ring, hits Moxley with a chair and then proceeds to hit the Swerve Stomp without covering right away. No ref anyways. Lights go out. Lights come back on. And the Young Bucks are in the ring to hit an EVP trigger on Swerve. Moxley covers Swerve, wins the match, retains the world title. And I'll admit, I saw the Hangman part of this match coming and Hangman aiding Swerve. But I absolutely did not at all see the Bucks returning here and now. That blindsided me. Of all the people, the Bucks were not the people I thought were going to be there.
Nicholas and Matthew Jackson, boy. I
ain't bad at
shocked. I wanted Swerve to win so bad, but when I saw the Bucks, I was like, they're back, kind of making a full circle. Because when all this happened, when Bryan went down and Mox started running everything and became champion, that's when they left. Now it's not like coming back around. Long story.
I remember them leaving. We remember the scene when they left.
Oh, yeah.
It
Never
I
forget.
thought about it a lot because it doesn't make a lot of sense. And that's why I'm so interested in it now, because where do you go with this? Like, that's great seeds get planted out of that. I want to know what's going to happen on Wednesday. You got
Oh,
me
yeah.
invested.
Thank you so much for watching this episode today, and we will continue very shortly. But I want to quickly give a thank you to the sponsor of today's episode and talk about something that I've recently been getting into. And if you're a really on-the-go, busy type of person like I am, you'll want to hear this. Today's episode is sponsored by Optavia, a low-sodium, calorie-efficient, sustainable diet plan that not only is catered to helping you reach your weight loss goals, but links you in with a personal health coach to help guide you alongside your health journey. And the best part, your coach is somebody who has already been on the same weight loss journey and found success in doing so. So not only a healthy diet that will supply you with ready meals and low-calorie snacks, but link you in with somebody who can help keep you motivated and educated on your way to a successful weight loss journey. I myself have been doing the diet, and I am really happy with the results so far, guys. I get a lot of these turkey meatball meals. The beef stew is my go-to lunch. A lot of times when I'm getting ready for the day, you will see me drinking on these Optavia shakes that I love. And the most important thing about this is how often I drink water. You drink a lot of water. It seems like it's hard, but I'm telling you personally, my coach keeps me educated, motivated, and properly hydrated. It is achievable. If you would like to get in contact with our show's personal coach and get started on your Optavia health journey, contact our email listed below in the description with the word Optavia. That's OPTAVIA. Or just head over to www.optavia.com and get started on your own time with your own coach. Now, back to the program.
That's how it's supposed to go. And again, I had to watch that like 20 minutes after the pay-per-view was done. I'm sorry you had to wait on me.
No, it is all right, my guy.
Now we're finally here to the good part, my final pay-per-view thoughts, and I'm always excited to give them off. When we started this episode here, we had one big question. Did the second annual Dynasty match up to the greatness of the first one? I think this pay-per-view was solid, had great matches, especially towards the bottom of the card. Big surprises in there, not easily predictable in every area. Slower, but not bad, just a lot of slower matches. My answer? It didn't hold up in comparison, but aside from the first one and on its own merit, it's good. I rated it a 3 out of 5 stars. Watch it again tomorrow with Alyssa, but 3 out of 5. It was good. Like I said, I think my favorite part was the unpredictable parts, the big surprises. The Kenny Omega match.
I think history-wise, the first one was Swerve being the first male black champion in AEW had for World Heavyweight Champion.
Mm-hmm. And it had
made that one a very special moment. The fact that I think everyone wanted to see a repeat of it, and a second being him being 2-time world champion. I think and it was going to come down to that if the Bucks didn't get there. But overall, I give it, me personally, it's between 4 to 4.5 for me, but I'm thinking realistically 4, solid 4 for me. I think it did. It literally surprised me. I like the swerves, no pun intended, on this card. Actually, the fact with the FTR turn, the title changings in these matches, and I really enjoyed this pay-per-view. Definitely would recommend it, and I give it a 4 stars. Great, phenomenal. Like you said, there are slow-paced matches, but they're not a bad thing. Just goes from high pace to slow, back to high, slow, back to high.
Yeah, I can't be mad at it 4, though. Remembering back to that first one with Kyle O'Reilly versus Roderick Strong, and with the match of the year, Danielson, Ospreay, and man, up and down, there was so much that I feel like this one being off the heels of that, yeah, it didn't live up to it. But if I took away all right, it doesn't need to live up to the first one, that's good by itself.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough to say.
That's fair. Damn, look who's got the that's fairs these days.
That's fair, dog, man.
All right, before I leave, there's two things going on. One, I've been drinking this energy drink here, but I've been hiding it the entire show because we're now sponsored by W Energy, and this is not that. We don't have any in yet to show on our show, so I've been trying to hide that. Hopefully it didn't show up. Also, if you like this hat, you can purchase it. Go down to the link in the description. Get some merch. We got a lot of good merch. That is what I'll end on, because you and we got to go to bed. I still have editing to do before this comes out.
Yeah, I got a crazy schedule for tomorrow.
So this is where we leave you. Thank you so much for joining.
Always, brother. Peace.